Welcome to episode 250 of the 2-Minute Warning. Today, I'm looking at whether or not Josh Allen deserves NFL MVP. I already did a video on this a couple of weeks ago. However, the regular season is over. Voting is going to take place soon, and there's a lot of debate of who deserves it right now. To me, throughout the season, Russell Wilson was the leader in the first half of the season. Come to the end and come halfway, pretty much Russell Wilson's taking a deep dive. He's not even close to being in the conversation, in my opinion, anymore. In the back half of the season, always been Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Then in the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, Derrick Henry started reaching that possible milestone, hitting 2K, 2,000 rushing yards. And if he hits 2,000, how does he not deserve it? It's only been done 7 times. He did it 8, became the 8th player to do it. And Josh Allen himself, past 5, 4, 3 weeks, Bills have been on one of the hottest streaks in the NFL, might arguably the best team in the NFL. So he's made a case for himself. To me, the easy top four candidates right now are Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Derrick Henry, Josh Allen. Looking at some statistics, Josh Allen on the season has 4,544 rushing yards, 37 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 8 rushing touchdowns, and 81.7 QBR, combining him for 45 touchdowns in total. Aaron Rodgers, 4,290 yards. He has 48 touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns, combining for 51, 5 interceptions, 84.4 QBR. For him to have only half the amount of interceptions that Josh Allen has, that's a pretty good statistic, but I'm not going to, have my final vote be based off interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, 4,740 yards, 38 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 2 rushing touchdowns, 82.9 QBR. Derrick Henry, best running back in the NFL, hit the 2,000 mark, 2,027 yards, 17 touchdowns, 8th NFL player to ever become 8th NFL player to ever rush for 2,000 rushing yards. He now has the 5th most rushing yards in a single season behind, I believe, Eric Dickerson, Adrian Peterson, Jamal Lewis, and I can't think of the other one off the top, Barry Sanders. So, and then Derrick Henry's number 5. That's pretty good company to be with. Eric Dickerson, Adrian Peterson, Barry Sanders. Those are some of the best running backs in NFL history. Derrick Henry has already made a case for himself to be right with them only 4 or 5 seasons in. Good for Derrick Henry. My pretty much final thesis on how I predict who is my MVP, I'll run it through the quick example, how I always do it. Basically, how valuable is this person to the team? If you take Patrick Mahomes away from the Kansas City Chiefs, they go from a Super Bowl team to a playoff team. That type of talent on that offense between Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Andy Reid, and the coaching staff can still become a playoff team. They might not reach a Super Bowl like they will with Patrick Mahomes, but an average quarterback could take that type of talent to at least a playoff run. So they'll go from 14-2 to probably 10-6. Aaron Rodgers, you take him away from the Green Bay Packers, 13-3, and I think they have a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. I seriously think you take away Aaron Rodgers, who's keeping the entire Packers team afloat. Yes, there's some talent between Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, but without Rodgers to throw to Adams, without Rodgers to take the pressure off Aaron Jones, that team is not even close to being the same. I think they go from 13-3 to about 3-13, 4-12, 5-11. I think they're dog shit without Aaron Rodgers. Take away Josh Allen from the Bills, 13-3 himself. If it weren't for the Kansas City Chiefs becoming a dynasty, the Bills would have a first-round bye pretty much any other year in the NFL. Tough luck for them this year, but still, you take away Josh Allen from a 13-3 team, I think they become a 9-7, 8-8, 7-9 Bills team. Josh Allen's becoming special. I don't even think they're above 500. I think 8-8 is their top record they can achieve without Josh Allen. I think they could go 8-8, 7-9, 6-10. However, I do think Aaron Rodgers is team. I think the Green Bay Packers would be worse without Aaron Rodgers than the Bills without Josh Allen. Then you take away Derrick Henry from the Tennessee Titans. Already 11-5, still a great record, but you take away Derrick Henry, and I think they fall to a 7-9, 6-10 team. Tannehill, I do think, is an underrated quarterback, but Derrick Henry is the workhorse of that team in offense. He's the glue to that entire team, making a playoff run for sure. So, as you heard my thesis, clearly when you take away each of these players, Patrick Mahomes is technically the least valuable from that perspective. Now, do I think Patrick Mahomes is the worst player of these 4? Absolutely not. I'm trying to say he's the least valuable to his team. I think Patrick Mahomes might be the best quarterback of these 4 or best player of these 4, but least valuable in this case. And to me, him taking off Week 17 doesn't really hurt his MVP case, but it gave Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Derrick Henry a extra game to increase their MVP case. So Patrick Mahomes definitely fell to number 4 in the MVP race to me. Then, like I said, you go through the order of Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, and Derrick Henry being left for the 3 MVP candidates. To me, Aaron Rodgers is my number one. He is my MVP. You take him away from your team, and you have one of the worst teams in football. Derrick Henry, to me, is a toss-up between 2 and 3 for Derrick Henry and Josh Allen. You can't really go wrong either way. I think Derrick Henry has to be number 2 just because he hit such a huge milestone. It's been only done a handful of times. The last guy to hit 2,000 yards was Adrian Peterson in 2012, and that year he won MVP, so it's going to be kind of shitty when Derrick Henry more likely than not loses MVP just because Aaron Rodgers is having such a phenomenal season. Unfortunately for Derrick Henry, it is tough, and he'll probably win Offensive Player of the Year, but it doesn't get half the recognition that MVP does, and it really shouldn't, because you got to figure, a lot of us remember Adrian Peterson winning MVP in 2012. No one could even remember who won Offensive Player of the Year last year. It's just not a notable award. Yes, it's an achievement. I'm not trying to say it's dog shit, but compared to MVP, it's just not the same. The credit is not there by any means, especially when you're Derrick Henry and he rushed for 2,000 rushing yards. So for me, Aaron Rodgers number 1, Josh Allen, Derrick Henry 2 and 3. Doesn't really matter either or. I think Josh Allen can win future MVPs, and he's a really great dark horse MVP this year. Just unfortunately for him, he's playing in an era where 2 of the 5-10 best quarterbacks of all time are having 2 of their greatest seasons of all time, and you just really can't top it. It's hard to say. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers is going to probably go down as 2 of the 10 greatest quarterbacks of all time. Yes, that's early to say. Yes, it's a bold take, but at this current pace, they're heading there for sure. So Josh Allen has some tough competition. I think he can win some in the future years. I think Justin Herbert is going to try and make a run at MVP himself in the upcoming years, so Josh Allen's not going to get it easy by any means, especially Patrick Mahomes still being young himself. Aaron Rodgers, he's getting up there, but I mean, he's winning it right now at 37 or what he is. Who says he can't get another one? So anything is possible for me. I got Patrick Mahomes, 4th place for MVP. Still think he was either number 1 or number 2 quarterback in the league, but MVP votings, he's just fallen down to being, I want to say, the least valuable to his team compared to the other 3 candidates, and not playing in Week 17, which isn't a bad move, but it's just a bad move for your MVP case. Then at number 3, I would probably have to, if I was forced to pick, go Josh Allen. Number 2, Derrick Henry, just because of the milestone he set and went above and beyond on. Number 1, Aaron Rodgers, currently the number 1 and number 2 quarterback in the league right now, and most valuable person to his team for sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think Josh Allen has a bright future at winning MVP, but this year he's going to fall short. 2-minute warning.